Hi everyone. पिछले 1.5 से in the last 1.5 2 years I have been putting forward my past year paper book for both phase 1 and phase 2 online on Amazon, and I know that a lot of students have been able to use it wisely, but at the same time I know for a fact that a lot of students, even though they're probably buying it, they're keeping it on their desk, they're not able to use it well. They don't know, it's not their fault, because they just don't know how to use it well, how to be able to utilize all that content that I am researching upon and putting out there for the students, how to actually convert all that content for your advantage and convert that entire effort into success. So this session is specifically for that. Now you might feel that I am continuously talking about the same person again and again, but there is something to learn from every person, from every success story, and that is what we are going to do here today, along with an actual example. So this is the source mapping which was done this year by All India Rank 1 of RBI exam. And when he came in for the interview, he shared this entire document with me along with a lot of other documents, his own notes, etc., etc. And I loved the way he had done source mapping, not because of what he had done, but also because he had that clarity about using previous year papers for his advantage. He understood the importance of previous year papers and he actually put them to work for his success. So today, let's start by learning exactly what did he do, how did he do it, how did that use case come into his use and worked for his advantage. एक एक करके देखेंगे. It's going to be a relatively longer session, but if you are dedicated enough to work towards and clear this examination this year, then this session is going to help you a lot. So let us begin. First of all, we see at the top something being written. Now this is written for essay. This is something that he probably wrote later, so we'll talk about this a little later only. First, let's talk about this. Now this is ESI and this is called as source mapping. What does it mean? It means that you map every year's questions with the source that they have come from. This is called as source mapping. How does it work and how does it help you as a student? So if we look at ESI questions, he's focused upon phase 2, ESI questions, objective part 2023 onwards, what has he done? What can be done by you now in source mapping as well? In 2023, these are all the questions that he's written down, but along with writing the questions, he's also written the marks and he's written the source. Now this is the most important part, the source and the year. This is the most important area. What do we see from here? In 2023, there was 4 questions in fact of 2 marks each from ESI static plus spotlight or PIB, because this was a question on World Trade Organization. Some questions in this were from ESI static, some questions were from PIB or spotlight, a combination of these two. So this automatically tells us that ESI static is not 0 in phase 2, something that a lot of us believe in or have the doubt about. He has cleared that doubt in the first question himself, for himself. He's doing this source mapping for himself. The second question, there were 5 questions of 2 marks each and all of these were from PIB. That tells us about the importance of PIB. Again, 4 questions, 2 marks each, combination of ESI static and PIB. IMF, International Monetary Fund, static का ही question है. Again, tells us about the importance of ESI static. 3 questions from a combination of PIB, budget, PVTG. PVTG means vulnerable tribal groups. तो उसके ऊपर ये क्वेश्चन है. So it's a combination of budget and PIB. 4 questions again from PIB. This is all 2023 running. अभी 2022 पे अब नहीं आए हैं हम. And then there are a lot of questions from government schemes. Now 2023 runs till here. And all the questions here are from government schemes, 1 markers. So total of about 10 questions, which means 10 marks out of 50 marks being asked from government schemes in 2023. Now he's not done the 2024 source mapping because that is not a part. He's cleared the 2024 exam. But that is something that you can add on, and when you will do that, you will see that the number of questions from government schemes has reduced a little bit, but the number of questions from reports and PIB has increased by the same proportion. So there is a shift, and this is not just happening in RBI or NABARD exam. We are seeing this movement, this shift in all major examinations, whether UPSC civil services or a lot of multiple state public service commissions also are moving very fast towards reports. So that is a movement that is visible here as well to a limited extent. In 2024, you will see that even more pronouncedly. This is called as source mapping. This is how he has understood the sources from where questions are coming and how he can. So it tells him directly what are the focus areas, what do I focus upon, and this is not something that needs to be done only once. Once he has done it, whenever you are starting with let's say ESI or PIB or any subject that you're starting with, you refer to this source mapping, you refer to the questions, they give you direction, they give you orientation. Let's move forward. 2022 पे आते हैं. In 2022, what are we seeing? Number one, we see a repeat of the question. So in 2021, I have in fact mentioned it here. One second. Yes, in 2022, sorry, there is a repeat sovereign gold bond scheme being repeated in 2022. There is some problem with the system, I believe. One second. Now it's fine. So in 2022, there is a repeat of sovereign gold bond, and in fact we see the same happening in 2021 also. Very less repeat, so need not worry about that too much. But starting with 2022, after 2023, what do we see? What is the trend analysis? Question from PIB, question from reports, PIB, some question from government schemes, PIB, some questions from government schemes, PIB, again government schemes, a lot of PIB, a lot of government schemes, a lot of PIB, and towards the end we are seeing one question from ESI static. So in 2022 we saw less questions from ESI static, more questions from schemes and PIB. In 23 we saw more diversity, more questions from ESI static, more questions from reports, lesser questions from schemes, and more questions from PIB also. That is the change that we saw in 2023, and that change in fact increased in 2024. बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया 2024 में. Let's now come to 2021. Okay, one second. Yes, if we come to 2021, again there is a repeat here. 2021 में a question from PM Kisan and latest data on PM Kisan being asked. और 2021 में रिपीट कुछ नहीं है, तो 2021 में और ट्रेंड एनालिसिस क्या है एक बार देख लेते हैं. लेट मी रिड्यूस इट. यस, 21 यहाँ से स्टार्ट होता है. गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स, रिपोर्ट्स, गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स, RBI 247, 3 क्वेश्चंस कमिंग इन ESI फ्रॉम RBI 247 हेयर. स्पॉटलाइट से क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं. नाउ वी आर नॉट सीइंग दिस हैपनिंग नाउ इन 2024. वी आर नॉट सीइंग क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम RBI 247 मच. गवर्नमेंट स्कीम से बहुत ज्यादा क्वेश्चन है. PIB 247, some bouncers, again government scheme. There was another repeat here in 2021, M Kisan portal. These questions, Kisan, sovereign gold bond, these are being asked again and again. Government schemes, budget, economic survey, PIB, common sense, government schemes. So almost similar. जो हमने 2022 में देखा, 23 में देखा, बहुत ज्यादा चेंज नहीं है. 23 में चेंज है विद रेस्पेक्ट टू 2022 एंड 21, एंड 2024 में हमने देखा कि वही चेंज और प्रोनाउंस हो गया. डिस्क्रिप्टिव इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग फॉर ESI एज वेल एज फॉर फाइनेंस. मजा आ जाएगा आपको. डिस्क्रिप्टिव देखोगे तो आपको समझ आएगा that they are flipping it. In ESI they are asking finance type of questions, in finance they are asking ESI type of questions. They are mixing it up. They should not be doing it, but they are doing it and they have the right to do it, so they go on and do it. RBI 247 से क्वेश्चन आया करेंसी एंड फाइनेंस रिपोर्ट के अंदर से. फाइनेंस इन ESI में से क्वेश्चन आया वर्ल्ड बैंक डेवलपमेंट रिपोर्ट ऑन माइग्रेंट से. सो फाइनेंस इन ESI मिक्स करके फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन सेकंड क्वेश्चन आया. देन देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन ऑन फ्रॉम रिपोर्ट्स, UNDP रिपोर्ट से आया. फिर एक क्वेश्चन थोड़ा बेसिक था, 3 गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स टू बी गिवन ऑन पॉवर्टी, डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है. फिर एक क्वेश्चन फाइनेंस स्टैटिक का है मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी टूल्स के ऊपर. और दैट इज इट। तो 2023 में यू कैन सी इन ESI 2 questions are picked up from financial parts. 2 questions are picked up either from RBI 247 or some or the other finance relationship is there in ESI paper. That is something that we probably did not know or you did not know because हमने source mapping नहीं किया कभी। 2022 में आते हैं तो हमें क्या दिखेगा, 2022 में आएंगे तो यहां से हम 22 में आते हैं। अगेन फाइनेंस इन ESI, challenges faced by positive discrimination policies in addressing inequalities. थोड़ा फाइनेंस इन ESI यहाँ पर है। इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म सिंस 1990, फाइनेंस स्टैटिक में भी ये पढ़ाया जाता है। तो थोड़ा थोड़ा, नाउ दिस इज ऑल रिटन बाय तने ओनली फॉर हिमसेल्फ, बाय हिमसेल्फ। तो इससे एक और इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट मिलता है कि ये सोर्स मैपिंग खुद करनी जरूरी है। आप किसी और की उठा लोगे, इट वोंट वर्क, बिकॉज आपका एफर्ट, हार्डवर्क वहां नहीं गया है, तो आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी लिमिटेड होगी। ओके, देन NBFCs एंड टाइप्स, ये 2022 में एक और क्वेश्चन था फाइनेंस स्टैटिक का। सो वी आर सीइंग समवेयर और द अदर in ESI finance is being asked. Simplistic finance, not very technical finance, simplistic finance is being asked in ESI. Okay, now let's come to finance objective. What do we see here? Let's try and figure out. ESI का ये source mapping पूरा हो गया। जब हम फाइनेंस में आते हैं, गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स इन फाइनेंस, कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस में से 10 क्वेश्चन यहां देखने को मिल रहे हैं, विच इज अ बिग थिंग एंड दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी ऑफन इग्नोर। हम लोग कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस को थोड़ा इग्नोर करते हैं, लाइटली लेते हैं, बट एवरी ईयर देर आर 4-5 क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस। सो दैट इज अनदर अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट वी हैव रिसीव्ड। फाइनेंस सिलेबस में से क्वेश्चंस बहुत ज्यादा आते हैं, 1-1 मार्क्स के 4 क्वेश्चन। ESI स्टैटिक का एक क्वेश्चन था, नॉन टैक्स रेवेन्यू, which is asked in finance. तो ESI static, ESI syllabus is not only relevant for ESI. बहुत सारे students ESI का पेपर देखते हैं, they find that not a lot of questions have come from ESI static syllabus part and then they put it aside. But you have to look at finance as well. In finance, we can see questions from ESI syllabus. Okay, ये 2023 पूरा हो गया। 22 में आएंगे, again there is a question on ESI from ESI static, MSME turnover limit. अगेन सिलेबस में से भी बोल सकते हैं, करंट में से भी बोल सकते हैं, कहीं से भी बोल सकते हैं, बट अ पार्ट ऑफ ESI, नॉट अ पार्ट ऑफ फाइनेंस। ओके, क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम RBI 247, फाइनेंशियल मैकेनिज्म, RBI 247, फाइनेंस स्टैटिक ऑब्वियस हैं, इसलिए मैं बहुत ज्यादा उसमें घुस नहीं रहा हूं। 2022 के बाद 2021 में अगर आएंगे तो भी सिमिलर ट्रेंड हमें दिख रहा है, फाइनेंस स्टैटिक, RBI 247। 2021 में थोड़ा चेंज हमें दिखा in 2021, some questions from PIB 247, but that is something that we don't see happening now. Even if it does, it should not affect our scores in the examination because we are doing PIB 247 very comprehensively for our ESI paper also. Okay, ESI static का एक और क्वेश्चन आपको 21 में देखने को मिल रहा है। Let's come to the descriptive part now. Descriptive में फाइनेंस सिलेबस का ये क्वेश्चन था, रिटेल डायरेक्ट स्कीम का, और ये काफी हेवी क्वेश्चन था, मैंने यहाँ लिखा है। इट्स अ डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन, व्हाई? बिकॉज इट्स अ वेरी स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन एंड दैट इज द लर्निंग फ्रॉम द बिगेस्ट लर्निंग फ्रॉम डिस्क्रिप्टिव पोर्शन ऑफ फाइनेंस, दैट द क्वेश्चंस आर ईदर वेरी स्पेसिफिक और वेरी जेनेरिक। नाउ द क्वेश्चंस आर सो स्पेसिफिक दैट यू डोंट नो हाउ टू कंप्लीट दिस क्वेश्चन इन 15 marks or 600 words, or how do I write 400 words also from this topic. For example, retail direct scheme of RBI, for example ONDC, for example UPI pre-sanction credit lines. Now these are very specific things that you can explain in 3-4 sentences, maximum 5 sentences. So how do you write 400 words, 600 words on this? That becomes a challenge. That is something that you will have to learn. That is the biggest learning from source mapping of finance descriptive. I am telling you that based upon my own experience. Okay, let's move down. Finance static, a question, blockchain and impact on banking. Finance static है, मैं current affairs भी बोल सकता हूँ इसको. Finance static plus current affairs, finance static, 2021 में आ गए फिर से finance static. In 2021 we see a question from budget. अभी हमें नहीं दिखता है बहुत ज़्यादा ऐसा कि फाइनेंस वाले में आपको ESI के क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए हों, वो बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं मिलता है. ओके, आगे चलते हैं. लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड. मैनेजमेंट पे आते हैं. मैनेजमेंट में हमें क्या क्या दिख रहा है इन 2023, यहाँ पे देख लेते हैं एक बार. जो तन्ने ने अपने लिए चीज़ें लिखी थी वो यहाँ पे पढ़ लेते हैं. क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम नोट्स. some questions that are random जो मैंने मार्क किए हैं because they are not a part of the notes. Values, conflict. Now values is a part of the syllabus, but जो questions पूछे गए हैं वो थोड़े random हैं. Random उसका मतलब he wants to write that even though I have read it, I am probably not able to answer it, or they are either too generic or too specific towards a certain area that is not there in the notes or not there anywhere. कुछ बाउंसर्स भी देखने को मिले हैं 2022 में, नॉट इन 2023 बट इन 2022. ओके, एथिक्स से क्वेश्चंस हैं बट नॉट इन द नोट्स डायरेक्टली. कुछ कॉमन सेंस आपको वर्ड बार बार मिल रहा है, सो लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम कॉमन सेंस in the notes. This is something that is increasing more and more in management. Lot of questions are coming in such a way that you probably cannot use your knowledge at all. If you use common sense, you will get more accuracy. So start using that as well. In management, that is happening especially a lot. In this year's examination, it happened a lot. Lot of questions coming from notes. Some questions are bouncers and common sense. अगर हम descriptive पे आए, now this is the descriptive part. Again, you will see management is easier because a lot of questions are coming directly from notes. या फिर book follow करोगे तो वहां से भी questions आएंगे. Some questions which are random, but some questions which are analytical along with being from the notes, but majority questions directly coming from the notes. तो मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा I don't have to worry too much. I just have to study whatever sources I have identified and stick with those. Okay. English का जो ये पूरा एनालिसिस है, ये इंग्लिश का डिटेल्स यहाँ पर हैं बट एनालिसिस ऊपर है. तो मैं आपको एनालिसिस पे लेके जाता हूँ. इंग्लिश में व्हाट वाज his analysis and his understanding about English. Let me take you there. Okay, now this is the entire analysis understanding of Tanay with respect to English essay writing. क्या है exactly? समझ क्या है? Broad learnings: prepare a comprehensive descriptive content on startups from all angles, gender, financial, tier 2, tier 3, etc. So he identified probably that I need to work on an essay on startups because RBI is regularly asking questions from startups. Then essay topics are more management and lifestyle oriented, so I need to prepare that as well. Prepare AI. He's also given some examples to himself. AI, generative AI, social media, other such evolving fields from all aspects. तो आपको बस थोड़ा सा टाइम लगाना है कि कौन कौन सी फील्ड्स हैं जो इवॉल्व हो रही हैं रेगुलरली, और उस पर थोड़ा सा टाइम लगा के आपको यू हैव टू ट्राई एंड क्रिएट सम टॉपिक्स फ्रॉम दैट. आई विल बी गिविंग यू वेरी सून अ लिस्ट ऑफ एसेज, not an exhaustive list but an indicative good list, 50, 60, 100 topics along with their areas. That will give you a very good idea कि essay का preparation कैसे करना है. But these are the major learnings that he received for himself from essays past year paper analysis. Okay, so that is all for this session. This is what a source mapping is. If you have not done it, I recommend please spend some time on doing source mapping for yourself, by yourself. Do not try and ask for the notes and all these things because it's not going to help you. आप अपने लैपटॉप में डालोगे, किसी फोल्डर में पड़ा रहेगा, you will not use it. If you do it yourself, spend 2-3 days on it, then only you will be able to start using it. Then only you will benefit out of it. Otherwise, it will be of zero use and zero benefit to you. Okay, that is all from my side. Please keep studying hard, keep studying smart as well. Make sure that you are optimizing your studies, not working too hard and not working too smart, also not trying to be over smart, not trying to be too hard work, and very less smart work also results in you burning out, also results in you losing your steam down the line, and that also costs you your entire examination. I will keep talking about various topics that I feel can help you in your preparation. Keep studying hard. All the best. Bye bye. Jai Hind.